beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is so wonderful to see you. Now I know I've been gone for a little while, but that's just because I've been dealing with some personal events and I've also been in a bit of a creative hibernation. So I have a bunch of really cool videos simmering on the back burner. But today, we're going to be talking about book recommendations for the nerd in your life. Whether it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, your best friend, anybody, even if it's just for you, you can buy them for you. I have picks for nerds of all kinds. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the word nerd. I know it's oftentimes used as a put down, but I've always subscribed to the Vlogbrothers-esque idea of a nerd. Someone who unapologetically, unabashedly, enthusiastically loves to learn. And I don't think that's so bad. So let's get into our first book. Our first book is Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. Let me ask you this. What do national identities, religions, and ideologies have in common? How has imperialism affected the world in the last few centuries? What on earth is money? All of these questions and more are answered in Yuval Noah Harari's Sapiens in a clear and witty way. I cannot begin to explain how important this book has been to my understanding of the world and my understanding of myself. Even as someone growing up in a British overseas territory, I had never considered the relationship between the enslaved people who were brought to the New World and the capital that paid for many of our modern cisterns today. For the nerd in your life who loves history and who wants to understand humanity as a 200,000-year-old entity, who wants to see our history from a bird's eye view, this is the book for them. Our second book is This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. Now, full disclosure, I did get this recommendation from another nerd. However, I have since then read the book twice. Once by myself, cackling extremely loudly as anyone in my household can attest, and possibly also my neighbors, and once with my book club. Now this is important because my book club has a med student in it, and this book follows the misadventures, often sad and hilarious, of a British med student. So what was the verdict? Well, it is perfect for groups and one for the ages. This book covers everything from fertility all the way to phallic failure. This is the book for the nerd in your life who has a morbid fascination with dead bodies. You know who you are, a made of darkness sense of humor, and a small god complex. I would totally recommend this book for the science-loving nerd in your life. Our third book is A Promised Land by President Barack Obama. The second that I heard that President Obama was releasing a new book, I pre-ordered it on Audible like that. And boy was I right to do so. This book came out at the perfect time, just 10 days after the contentious 2020 US election was settled, and 2 weeks after my exams. A little bit of a prize if I do say so myself. What I needed while the world was in turmoil was 29 hours of President Obama telling dad jokes, simplifying global politics, praising how politically active my generation is, and being incredibly idealistic about the future. And that's exactly what I got. This book is for the politics-loving nerd in your life. Alternatively, it is for the speech and debate-loving nerd in your life because somehow each chapter of this book is a masterclass in essay writing, and if you're listening to the book, it is also a class in speech cadence because this is President Obama. In a welcome break from the many external pressures to move fast and break things, as is the philosophy of Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, clearly. This book is a counterforce. It encourages its readers to sit back and sit down and take time to think. It says, hey reader, take your metaphorical coat off. Relax a minute. I mean, it is approximately this long. So for the nerd in your life who loves politics, international affairs, writing speeches, debating, this is the book for them. Our fourth book is Why Fish Don't Exist by Lulu. This was a book recommendation I actually got from John Green in his video, Books That Help. It is linked in the description below. I would recommend this book for an older nerd maybe a nerd in their 20s, trying to figure things out, because it does deal with some mature themes. On the surface, this book looks to answer the basic question, do fish exist? Now, as someone who spent a pretty large portion of their childhood cleaning fish, I am inclined to say that fish do exist. However, Miller offers a compelling argument as to why fish as a genre of animal don't actually make that much sense. In doing so, this book is also a complex exploration of mental health, the meaning of life, and the slightly troubling life of David Starr Jordan, the first president of Stanford University. This book is for the nerd in your life who has big philosophical questions that they might want answered at the microscopic level. Our last book is One More Thing by B.J. Novak. What would happen if the tortoise and the hare had a rematch of their legendary myth-making race? Who would win? What's the secret to true love? Could it possibly be the color of your shirt? Is closure really possible in interpersonal relationships? In this offbeat collection of short stories by the office's B.J. Novak, themes of love, celebrity, and the absurd are explored. Now, I can't say that those questions will be answered per se, but I can definitely say that you will be laughing until you are hoarse in the throat. This is the book for the nerd in your life who needs to take a load off, who's a little bit too high-strung, who needs a good laugh like no one is watching, like no one is checking for them. Alternatively, I would say that this is also the book for the literature nerd in your life, as it does explore some really interesting literature concepts, like how important is the placement of a single word in the overall work of a book? When it comes to buying books, I know that it can be difficult. Anybody who's ever seen me in a bookstore can really attest to this fact, but I hope that this list of funny and quirky books maybe can help you find the perfect book for the nerd in your life. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a style that's a little bit new, so let me know if you guys liked it in the comments below, and I cannot wait to see you back next week. If you like this video, please subscribe. Bye!